Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Greer. I'm CEO of Secure Content Technologies, and I'm really happy to be here with Hope McCluskey of ESET, Director of Channel Marketing. Hope, we've known each other for many years,
Over 10, over
and
10.
colleagues and friends over the years, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Happy to be
So
here.
we've been kind of having a little discussion back and forth recently about kind of the myths of cybersecurity solutions. And like, if we just had the right solutions, we'd be safe. And I feel like that's a myth. How do you feel the same that I do about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing when you talk to people and they say, well, you don't have the right solution in place, and this is why a breach happened. At the end of the day, I mean, I wish it were true that we could all just put in a great solution and make sure that our security is safe and then we wouldn't be able to be breached, which obviously isn't the reality. The reality really is that we all need to be hyper aware of daily threats that we face, and it's scary because the reality is the bad guys are getting smarter and smarter. um, and hackers, it's kind of interesting, the more I hear, no longer look the way they used to, or what we picture. So if you think back, I mean, for me it was somebody in a hoodie and dark sunglasses working in a small room, and that's not what it is anymore. It is a full-fledged business where people go, they get up in the morning, they kiss their families goodbye, and they go to an office where they have HR and sales and marketing teams. It's crazy. These are businesses. And so what's happening is just getting more and more um, difficult to find and to see and to spot. And they're not the hackers of the past. The phishing emails alone are getting more and more sophisticated,
Mhm.
harder to detect. The other day, interestingly enough, I actually saw something that it was from my bank. I almost clicked on it, and I noticed in the email that it was supposed to be an L, but it was an I.
Ooh.
And so it was because they're now getting so creative that they can make letters, even one letter, look like it's supposed to be something else.
Mhm.
It's crazy. I think as far as businesses go, average cost of a breach, and I'm sure most people are aware of this, it has gone up 13% year over year. And we're now looking at an average cost of $150,000 of a breach.
Ooh. Ooh.
And it, the survival rate for businesses, if they get hit, is so low. It's like 60% of an SMB will be forced to shut down within 6 months of a breach because
Uh,
they can't afford it.
that's devastating. But I think that one of the things that they can do that's an somewhat easy thing is to build in trainings for their employees, because I won't say humans are our weakest link, but in a way we are, because we're
Yeah,
all busy. So catching
yeah,
that L versus an I in an email, that can be really challenging when we're trying to just do our business during the day.
yeah.
And having trainings like what you offer at ECAT, can point those things out to people and just make them more cognizant of that during their daily business day.
100%. I mean, it really is. I mean, the threats are coming in quick, and they're trying to get stolen credentials, social engineering, which really is just putting people in an urgent situation where they think they need to give information when
Mm-hmm.
it's not the truth. I mean, I am constantly sending emails to people in my team to say, look out, I'm seeing something that looks suspicious. I mean, what I do now is I don't open anything, and if they really need something, they'll come back. But to your point, training is key. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people need to be educated. They need to be tested over and over again. They need to be scored. Um, Sometimes we'll do testing internally to see how many people are falling for a scam. So we have to get more sophisticated in looking, and the companies need to take on, I guess you could call it, a culture of security. Because to your point, we are the weakest link, and
Mm-hmm.
people are clicking and they don't understand. 95% of attacks are human error.
True.
95% of them. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you make sure that people are seeing all the newest things that are happening and that are aware? I mean, I was laughing the other day, and you probably have seen this. There's now on it was a video, and it's Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt having a full fight. It's all AI. None of it's real.
Really?
15-minute clip of the two of them duking it out, and none of it's real. So that it's going to change the whole world. But just besides that, you could see how sophisticated AI is bringing things to the next level.
It is. And I think, my view of it is, and this is the way I even raised my children this way. When in doubt, don't. When in
Yes.
doubt, don't. And
Yeah.
you've got, if it's something truly important or someone really needs to reach you, they will call you, they will text you, they will send another email that is actually legitimate. There are other ways. And so I think we're all groomed to feel like we live in this world where we have to respond to everyone immediately. And I don't feel that way. And I don't expect my employees to feel that way. Being responsive is obviously a focus, but when in doubt, don't.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect way to say it. When in doubt, don't.
Right. So
So
I think that part of this is how we take trust and accountability with our vendors and our reseller partners into a result that the customer can benefit from. Like having a vendor partnership, like you and I have.
yeah.
You're the vendor, I'm the VAR. Having that trusted partnership is really, really beneficial to our mutual clients.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how do we do this together? And I think, you and I over the years have had these similar discussions around, at the end of the day, people buy from people that they trust. And when we haven't talked for a while, and then we get back together, and I can say to you, these are the things that I can help with, and how can we work together better? I mean, we call it a partnership for a reason. But I do believe, I look at my own tradition, or my trajectory, I guess, better word, with ESET. I've been with the company for 10 years and chose to go there because of the people. And because I started meeting partners like you and resellers that had a similar mindset of how do we do this together? How do we make sure that the customers are educated? How do we provide things like the cyber awareness training that makes it a little more fun so people can digest the information, understand what it really means, and then continue to educate. But educating the partners is equally as important. So making sure that as a trusted advisor for your customers, that you've got the latest information as well. So you can go to the table and say, hey, look out for these things to your customers. And I think that's a big part of the partnership is making sure that the information I'm getting as a manufacturer is going to you so you can share it, because these are your customers. You're on the front lines, right?
Yeah, and you guys have some amazing informational things like We Live Security. It's completely independent. It's not about product. It's only about topics, like threat topics that are really pertinent to any business, any reseller, any corporation, school. That We Live Security is really a valuable, resource that I review every morning when I come into the office.
Because you get to see the things that are happening today and what's coming up, and power grids going down, and just things like that are so, the more you know, the scarier it is. But at the same time, it's like knowledge is power. And so you need to know that, right? We all need to know, okay, how do we make sure that, I would say that the solutions that we're using are multi-layered. And I will add, ESET's whole concept is around multi-layering, threat detection, trying to stop the the hacks, the breaches before they start, and really looking outside to see if something smells wrong, if it looks wrong, how do we stop it? So not waiting for it to come in, and preventing rather than trying to defend as it happens.
I agree. And I think that's what makes the partnership so valuable, when everyone shares responsibility, right? You're communicating, I'm communicating, we're making sure that the customer is communicated to in a not a noisy or a scare tactic way, but in an informational way that's going to make their security posture better.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have to do this together, right? They have to make sure that they're educating their associates, but also that they're aware of the things that might be coming down the
Yeah,
path.
and so you really summed this up, Hope, when you said to me the other day, security isn't something you buy, it's something you build together.
Yeah.
And I felt like that statement really solidified our partnership with ESET and vice versa, and the things that you and I have discussed and built over the years.
100%. I agree. It's, you could have the most sophisticated tools out there in the business. And if your people are the weakest link, as we discussed, then you're going to still have issues. So how do we together come to the table as the manufacturer and the reseller to say, or the trusted advisor, I should say that better, that these are the right things for your business. And as your business expands and grows, that you need to then add on. And so making sure that the software is up to date, or making sure that there's not other things that the company may need to use. So when we talk about threat intelligence, that's another area that's, for many companies, they're doing it on their own, but having an MDR service outside of that to allow us to help and for you to help make sure that they're getting top of mind monitoring, 24-hour monitoring, to make sure that there's not things that are happening. Because again, it's there's a lot there's a lot out there.
Yeah, and we've adopted and continue to educate our customers on the value of an MDR solution, and why it's incredibly crucial to them to have that. And it's not a sales tactic. It's really just that you think of it like, I can't know everything about everything
Right.
all the time, right?
Right.
And so having that 24/7 team watching my network, watching what's happening, and alerting if something goes wrong, or in many cases, they will go ahead and remediate it. That's
Yeah.
crucial, because we need to be spending our time growing our businesses, working on the things that make our customers happy,
Right.
not just doing security all day long.
Trying to block. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even things like two-factor authentication, or making sure that there's other things, encryption, pieces like that, that just help along the lines of security. Because the reality is, there is nothing foolproof out there. I mean, I'm just going to be really honest with and I work for a cybersecurity company, but things can get through. So if you have the layers of the protection, you have things like two-factor authentication, it's going to help. Encryption, it's going to help every little bit. The education is going to help. So I think, and to your point, it's consistently educating and talking about the next things, because as we get smarter, the bad guys unfortunately get smarter.
They indeed definitely do. This was a wonderful discussion.
Yeah.
As I mentioned to everyone who's listening, Hope and I have known each other for well over 10 years.
Yeah.
We're business colleagues and friends at the same time, and have mutual goals of creating an atmosphere of trust and respect in cybersecurity. So thank you, Hope, for dedicating your time to this today. I really appreciate you.
You're so welcome. It was enjoyable for me as well. And I thank you, Karen, for everything you do.
Awesome. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Take care.